This is essentially the breakdown of how the Watersafe challenge, the basic simple data that we're wanting to collect. The first is to get well water static depth. Now that's basically the depth of the water in your well shaft when it's not been pumped. And we want to take that sample in September, next month, December, and March. The idea being that September, we know that that's sort of the end, the key of our drought period. And then beginning in December, we start to see recharge in that zone. And March is where, we've had our winter and the aquifers should be reflecting, or at least the well levels should be reflecting a certain amount of recharge. We also want to collect a chloride lab sample in September. If you have happened to already do that in August, that works too. But a chloride lab sample will be a good indicator of saltwater intrusion. And we talked about those levels. And then optional information is total well depth. That is how deep the well was drilled, the elevation of your well, what's the top of your well cap, and the well log, which is something like this. It's a form that was completed by the well drilling outfit that created your well. It's logged with the Department of Ecology, and it has a lot of this basic information on there. One of the things I want to reassure everyone, just like previous studies, is that all of this data will be anonymized so that when it's published, there's nothing that identifies your personal well. Although on our forms, we do have a little checkbox that will say, are you interested in networking with local, your neighboring well owners? Because if you're interested in establishing a relationship with fellow neighbors who are drawing possibly from the same aquifer, you can work together. That's part of what Mike and I, with the Water Watchers, and again, continuing on the Watersafe Challenge, want to develop a sort of a community of water users, knowing that we're all pulling off the same resource. We are going to do a very cool workshop on Saturday. And what this is going to do is show you how to measure and inspect your well. It will require some equipment, but there's some resources on the island. And so if you're a do-it-yourself type person, you'll be enabled during this workshop to understand the safety issues and concerns and what to look for. We'll talk about how to pull a water sample and submit that to the lab. We'll have containers ready to go for that. So even if we want everyone to participate, but even if you're really not interested in participating, but you want to learn about your well, please come. It's going to be a great presentation. We're also going to talk about some of the things about how to protect the area around your well and what best practices are. So this will be an opportunity for, again, you to understand what the challenge is all about and find out how you want to participate, whether you want to do it yourself or it's possible to hire a professional to do it for you. So that is our presentation. I'm going to turn it back to Susan. But before that, I just wanted to ask Sheryl too, you've sort of had a glance at our island so far. Is there anything that you've noticed about the studies or our presentation that you'd like to express to our membership or our neighbors?
When I first met you, Isaac, I was just so impressed with you folks pulling this together and getting your community engaged to do this. One of the roles that I fill at the Department of Health is I sit on the Water Supply Availability Committee, which kind of monitors both snowpack and groundwater levels across the state. And we struggle with a lack of groundwater data, and tying into that is what I saw last year. And I'm sure you've all have heard these stories as well. And that heat dome that hit in June, we had reports of over 20 wells going dry. And these were private wells, Group B wells or Group A wells. And of course, in every situation, it was because they're not monitoring. And historically, that's been fine, especially on the west side. But we're just seeing as sister agencies trying to monitor this resource across the state that we really need more water level data on all levels, Group A levels, Group B, and private wells. So I was so excited to hear you guys were doing this and, educating your citizenry on how to take the water level measurements and the value of it. And just been really impressed with your breadth of information today about the island as a whole. Especially appreciate Scott's contributions and Jay as well. It's you guys are unique. You're an island, and that has some inherent risks and challenges associated with it. But it also gives you exactly what you're doing, and that is pulling together everyone to work together for your overall benefit. So I just appreciate learning more about your island and sitting in and offering whatever support and resources we can. We're not here as a regulatory, I'm just here as technical assistance and providing whatever additional information that I can. I wish I could come up Saturday, it'd be fun. So I hope that wasn't too much or not what you're expecting, but I'm happy to answer any questions and listen some more. This has been excellent. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Sheryl.
Yeah, thank you, all of you. And if you have any questions, please add them to the chat.